Illustrated Social
Bird, it's your
Engineer.
boy, Mr. Martial Arts
Yeah.
Media, man, and we are back with another great episode of cartoons and cuts. That was my guy Lupe Fiasco with Strange Fruition. Today, ladies and gentlemen, I have a very, very special guest in the house, man. Um, wasn't able to have him come on due to technical difficulties, and we apologize, man. But this time around, we're diving right back into the full conversation and a powerful one about 60 years later and the damage of what one Negro can do. This time, I'm joined with my very special guest, Dr. Terrence Roselle, Ph.D., received his Bible college and seminary education at Zion Bible Institution in Rhode Island and a Christian Life Bible College and Seminary, Illinois. He's earned his bachelor degree in healthcare administration at National Louis University in Chicago. He went to complete a master's in mental health counseling and later a PhD in social and behavioral science and at the Capella University. With over 30 years in the mental health field, he served as a lecturer, therapist, and a psychologist in social behavioral scientist. So please give a round of applause for Mr. Dr. Terrence Roselle. Welcome to the show, brother. Thank you so much, man.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much. I hope we have a show that we can provide some information to you to help you fill in the gaps of what you're seeing going on in the Black community. I must give credit where credit is due. I stumbled onto this, what was going on, what was causing it, who was really doing it. And I want to tell the audience, I am not confused at all about what's going on. I'm not confused. I'm not trying to find truth. I have found it, and I want to share it with you. But in my Ph.D. program, I stumbled into a block where I couldn't go forward for a while. And that left me wondering to do more research. And I had people telling me, very intelligent people, whispering to me information about things that were going on in our society, in our communities, what was really going on, what was behind it. But brother, it sounded so crazy and insane that I just couldn't wrap my head around it at the time. But what I did is I got this guy's book, Dr. John Coleman. Wrote a book called The Tavistock Institute of Human Relations. Reading that book, this guy did all his research on location at the London Library. And brother, London is who has it out for the United States. I am not brother. They are not friends. And in the London Library, he was ex-MI6. So he had access. You can't get in the London Library unless you're a government employee or retired. He got in there for 7 years, did research on location. Do you know this dude found the plan to destroy the United States through illegal immigration in the London Library?
No, I did not know
But the
that.
guy found it all. He found it all, and he found out who, why, and what in the London Library, and then he became a citizen and brought it here. Do you nobody has listened to this man?
No, and that's the thing. Like nobody cares. They'll start calling you crazy or whatever type of way to dismiss it. You know. But
well, having completed that phases in a PhD program, my research skills were very sharp. And a lot of people don't really understand research. They just think it's people just hodgepodging things together. I assure you it's nothing like that. There's a woman in Harvard who had to step down because of the science of research and the strict protocols you use to test research. They proved her research are phony, and she lost her job and professorship and everything at Harvard. You can look it up, it's recent, and all her research had to be thrown out. So we find out, it takes us a while, but I was able to do research. And what I did was I tried to find out everything in this guy's book and disprove it. So I went and researched every detail. So I went page by page. Give you an example. He said when they took over TV and went from radio to TV, they assassinated the head of NBC threw him off the roof. And when I went to research it, it said that he committed suicide and jumped off the roof. Well, you and I both know that that's one of the main assassination strategies, is suicide.
Yeah.
So I couldn't disprove anything the guy said. And I was able to prove like 99% of it. Dude, I know what's going on, and it's called social engineering. And the first step in that parade was the civil rights movement. And that's what you see going on right now. You see the Communist Manifesto, black folks living out the Communist Manifesto out there marching. Now they've transferred it to illegal immigrants and Palestinians.
Right. So, okay, because that's a lot. So let's back it up.
Sorry about that.
No, because it's all good, brother. Because that's
you ask questions and then I'll throw it in.
For sure. Because look, because I understand. So all right. So starting with the civil rights movement. Okay. Are you familiar? Yeah. You saw the question. So are you familiar with the movie The Soldier's Story?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Yep, I remember that. Some truth in it, like they always do, and then some bullshit.
Right. So I mean, just to recap for those who don't know, moral of the story, this one black dude tarnished the image of the rest of the black men in their camp. They was, you know what I'm saying? Moral of the story, like a black dude the black platoons were successful in their missions over there in World War II, I believe. And it was so good that the French white women wanted to, have sex with them, if they will. Mm-hmm. The white men basically got jealous, and from there they created or concocted a rumor that black men had a tail, and they found one guy, paid him, and for him to dress up like a monkey and perform, and called himself Moonshot.
I am not familiar with that because you're explaining an episode that took place, and I am more focused on the key episodes or dynamics that started this thing in motion.
Right.
See what I'm saying? Because you could pick out these episodes all day long, but none of these one episodes has caused where black race is today. None of these episodes has caused us to be failing in all of the core areas that a species has to have to survive. These are bad things that have happened, but just like racism and oppression, racism can't be the reason why we're failing to this degree.
Right.
Because most of the stuff that's going on, we are doing it to ourselves.
Right, exactly.
All of these areas that are failing where President Trump is sending in troops all run by blacks.
Yeah. And
they're
so
all run by black mayors and black councilmen and black governors. So how in the world can you be blaming white people?
Exactly. So
that's illogical.
And that's what I mean by that. It's the damage of what one Negro can do to tarnish.
Yeah.
So I'm just using that story kind of as a whole metaphor as to where we are today, if you will. Because exactly, we can apply that same message to everybody's upset with what's going on with Trump sending in the troops, like you said, in these predominantly black-ran districts like D.C., New York, and Chicago's a big one. It's crime-ridden. They got a black mayor, but they're...
But understand this. This is not by accident. This is not because of bad politics. These people are being told to do this by this cabal.
Exactly.
They are told, they are bought, they are paid for. We all know that George Soros is the one who funded all their campaigns. They are being told to do this to these cities because what they're using is socialist communist manifesto strategies. These are the same strategies that they used in Venezuela and in Russia, in every place. What they do is they use crime as a means for change. They increase crime to force revolution and change. So what they're doing is, listen, any day of the week, these people could decrease crime. They know what to do to decrease crime. They're doing this on purpose because they're trying to force the hand of President Trump to bring in troops. Why would they do that? Well, then now they can say, look what you're doing to blacks. Right. You're bringing in the troops on the blacks. Because you'll notice that none of these are happening in Republican states because they're run by whites or blacks who are Republicans. So they're taking care of their crime. They did this in the civil rights movement, man.
Right.
They did this. This is a strategy. They did this in Germany to let crime. What happens is when crime increased, the people became more malleable to take suggestions to the solution. And then they would give them the solution that they wanted. This is what it's all social engineering, man. It's all on purpose.
So about
it's all on these niggas ain't doing this shit by accident.
Yeah.
They're not. They're all been recruited, all of them are recruits, and they're being trained and they're being coached what to do. None of their speeches are organic. Everything that they're saying, they're being coached and told what to say. Trust me. The Tavistock and these individuals would never trust these morons with anything. These people are recruited because the only thing they care about is self-enrichment, and usually they're morally and mentally compromised, meaning they're people who have low IQs, people who don't have the talent to make it on their own. If there's one thing you'll notice about these people, they are not talented. They have no talent.
Yeah.
Jasmine Crockett never talks about her knowledge of the law. She just talks about emotional ghetto shit because that's all she has.
Yeah. No, for real. So with that being said, it started somewhere.
Sorry, brother. I didn't mean to.
It's all good, brothers, because everything that you're saying, it had to start from somewhere. And you kept highlighting the civil rights movement and that and how it was socially engineered. Can you explain to the audience that may not be familiar with that? They might call us crazy or whatever.
Let me take black people in history, because the one thing that I found, and I'm sure you've seen this, is black people have a distorted sense of history. They don't have an accurate sense of history. That's not black people's fault. Dale Carnegie owns the Smithsonian Institute, and the contract to distort black people's history has been in place since the Tuskegee Institute. What am I saying, my precious black people? When slavery ended in 1865, black people were I believe we're 100% illiterate, because the ones that could read couldn't read for shit, and they couldn't write. By 1917, black people had come to almost 100% literacy and had created a language, a style of English that was so beautiful and so eloquent that it scared the shit out of the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers. Now listen, hear me out. At the end of slavery, nobody offered black people jack shit. They didn't offer us any help at all. But then after black people had created the greatest educational system in the world, do you know that has never been competed with? That has no educational system to this day has ever reached the productivity that we did at the end of slavery. Point number two. At the end of slavery, we recovered from slavery faster than any race in history.
Come on.
And then after this, Dale Carnegie, the Rothschilds, and the Rockefellers come to us and offer us education? No. If you believe that, you're a moron. Here is a journal, research, the causes and consequences of attending historically black colleges and universities. Ronald G. Fryer, Harvard University.
Can you hold that? Can you hold that up a little clearer so we can see it?
This guy is from MIT.
Hold it back a little bit.
He did research to show and prove that the black race has been declining since the civil rights movement. I'm going to explain to you what happened. And I can take a picture of this and give these to you people to get.
That's cool, because the camera's not doing no justice.
You can grab this. The guy's from Harvard, and he said the civil rights movement is killing us. Let me tell you what happened. The Rockefellers and the Rothschilds and Dale Carnegie went to three sellout niggers. They went to these three men. Let me show you their pictures. They went to Booker T. Washington.
Yep.
Carter Woodson.
Heard of him, Carter G.
And W.E.B. Du Bois. Trying to find W.E. Du Bois's picture. W.E.D. Du Bois owns a company right now, to this day. I can't find this picture. I'll show you. W.E.D. Du Bois owns this company, his family, called Black History Unlocked, where they every day spew propaganda to keep black people blaming white people for our demise, for what we're in. Oh, here he is. I found him. Here he is, Carter Woods.
Yep.
And then there's W.E.B. Du Bois. They went to these three sellout niggas, made a contract with them to start Tuskegee Institute and take over our education. Now, I can tell you right now that they didn't want to do it. They did not want to do it. You can see, I have a picture of them. Let me show you. Oh, here, let me show you. I have a picture of them. This is the opening day of Tuskegee Institute, and you can go to my Instagram. Let me try to get this.
Yeah, you got to kind of back it up, back
yeah,
up a little bit.
I should get that thing off. But here
perfect,
it is.
Perfect, right there.
You can see. Hold on, I can just hold it.
Yeah.
You can see in the picture that
you got to back it up a
people,
little bit.
and you guys can go up and look up this picture. I have it marked in 7 places where you can clearly see that
right
these
there?
people did not want to be there. They're turning away because they knew what was happening. Do you know that after these black people, black doctors and nurses graduated, their first assignment was to go and sterilize their own black women? And people are telling me they didn't know they were sterilizing. How in the world were they nurses learning a procedure and not knowing they were doing it, and they had to teach them what they were doing? You wouldn't have been able to replicate it if you didn't know what you were doing. How are you going to teach somebody a medical procedure and not tell them what they're doing? Right. So that's nonsense. That's just retarded. They brainwashed them in this school, and they brainwashed them with a hatred for their own people. Because after this, listen to me carefully, these black people started calling their own black people coons. Well, Tenzel, doesn't that happen to me and you when you tell black people that they brainwashed them that they were coons, that the black people weren't like them, they were coons, and that they weren't like them, they weren't really black. We know this happened because after this, they then went on to experiment on their own black people with syphilis and let them die. How in the world did they go from working together to create the greatest institution in the world, go through a 4-year education program, and then start butchering their own people? They were brainwashed.
God.
They then used it, huh?
I said, God.
They were brainwashed. They were brainwashed. There's no other way to explain it.
Right.
There is no other way to explain it, man. How in the world did they change them from working together with their own people to butchering their own people? In that school, they brainwashed them. They used the same science to create the civil rights movement. And you see that this has evolved into how black people treat each other today. Right. This is not an accident that we kill each other at 98%. It's been socially engineered, because in that school and in the civil rights movement, they taught black people how to hate each other.
Whew. Now, because that's heavy right there.
They taught us.
Yeah.
They taught us how to hate each other. And dude, the civil rights movement, if we keep practicing it, look what it's gone to. It's gone from desegregation to now we're talking about we want to segregate. How did that happen? It's socially engineered. The civil rights movement would have always reversed and gone to that. It's been socially engineered for destruction. That's why this guy wrote this in this paper and identified that I just understand why it is. See, let me explain to your audience where the civil rights movement comes from. If you go to my Instagram, you'll see I've done whole series on this and showed you when these monsters, these sellout three niggas made this Farsian contract and sold us out. They then after that gave these three sellout niggas PhDs from Harvard, and I asked for their transcripts and they wouldn't give it to me.
Damn.
And I submit to you that their transcripts don't exist. They gave them PhDs for selling us out. After that, they used these three sellout niggas to then produce HBSUs, who were all created by social engineers. The first one was H. Stanley Hall. They say he was the first guy to get a PhD from Harvard. Couldn't have been true because the men who trained him, William James and Kurt Van Loren, had PhDs in psychology. He started the Atlanta Clark School where they then recruited a black dude by the name of Abernathy to start the folk school where they trained blacks in the Socialist Communist Manifesto in Memphis, Tennessee. And this is where they trained black people in the Communist Manifesto is psychological warfare. It's actually like psychology. It's rooted in deception. It's rooted in fooling people. It's psychological warfare. You see the Democrats using it. Lying, the constant lying, the ruining people's reputation. That's what they did see, I was married to a Russian woman for 10 years. Came here straight from Russia. So I understand the Communist Manifesto on a level that maybe a lot of people wouldn't because of that, because she shared with me what happened in Russia. And everything that she told me that she saw happening in Russia is happening in the United States right now.
Such as, like, can you give us an example?
The marching, the protesting, the burning down, the fund the police is that's in the Communist Manifesto. Hitler did that. Hitler took away the police and then put in the special police that would do his bidding. All of these are Communist Manifesto ideologies. And you got black people in the United States of America practicing the Communist Manifesto and don't even know it. How in the world are these black people practicing socialist Marxist communism and don't know it? Asking for free shit all the time. Asking for the government to give them what it's their responsibility to go out and earn. That's all from the Communist Manifesto.
Now,
all of it.
Now, people would say that we wasn't asking the government for free stuff. We would just wanted human rights. You know, we just wanted to be able to sit on the bus, and we just wanted to be able to eat at a Denny's and not get rocks thrown at us.
Do you know where the bus scenario comes from? It was all socially engineered. Rosa Parks was recruited from the sellout school that they gave Booker T. Washington, Booker T. High School. It took me a while to find her because they normally recruit them from colleges because they took over all of our colleges and our seminaries. That's where they recruited. So they created the folk school. I have all the documents from FOIA requests from FBI agents who visited the folk school. And it was supposed to be a school for children. The FBI agent said he went over there 3 times and there was no children there. And one of the people working there was a social psychologist, social engineer. I don't know why you need social engineers to teach children ABC and 1, 2, 3. They were over there. They were over there and had Rosa Parks over there training. And what they were training them to do was to fake episodes, make people think they were real, to gain people's emotions and people's allegiance. These people at the folk school orchestrated and faked the entire bus scene. The bus scene was completely faked and orchestrated. They practiced it for months before they did it. And the white people that were on the bus were all from the folk school.
Hell, man.
So all the shit that black people are using to substantiate all of their beliefs and ideologies, all prefabricated and have been giving them through this prefabricated, socially engineered civil rights movement. They were all actors, every single one of them. It's going to be in my book. How in the world can black people prosper using a fake ass ideology that these maniacs got our own people to sell us out? Because Martin Luther King was a deviant sexual pervert. They sell us out. I have the access to the informants. They have tapes of all of them sleeping together. They were all homosexual perverts.
Damn, that's heavy.
Yeah, it's in the tapes. They taped everything. J. Edgar Hoover taped it all. So it's all documented. This shit ain't no conspiracy theory. They taped them having sex with men. Every time they came to a city to do these riots and do these civil rights riots, they were having orgies.
That's heavy.
Yeah. And this is what black people are basing the prosperity in the future of the black race on. Problem is, the civil rights movement has done nothing but degrade us. Look at what it's doing to us.
I mean, yeah.
We're going down the tubes. We are failing in all the core. In order for a species to survive, they have to be doing well to a certain degree in several core areas. Education. We can't read. The majority of our kids can't read, so we're failing in education. Science. We don't do anything in science. We have not produced any inventions or any science. That thing I showed you, that guy from Black History Unlocked, you'll notice that everything he posts is from decades ago. Everything the man posts is from decades ago. You would think that would tell black people that we're in trouble, but it doesn't. It doesn't. Most of the sciences that he is promoting that we created is irrelevant now. It's irrelevant. Our HBSUs, they're all social engineering schools producing black socialist communists. You will notice that all the black kids that come out of there are godless. Every one of them that come out of there talk about there's no God and they have no faith in the Lord Jesus Christ. I have never met more godless people than come out of those HBSUs. I would have them attack me on my page, telling me all kinds of godless stuff like God isn't here on Instagram. And, dude, they're godless. It's because they're being indoctrinated with the Communist Manifesto, which is a demonic, godless doctrine. I'll explain that to you and your people. So this is all that's happening in these HBSUs. They have not produced anything. I went and tried to research what has been produced from HBSUs. Dude, it's all fake ass shit. They're all first black to do this, first black to do that. All that is them allowing somebody to succeed that they have selected and they have recruited and then putting them in positions. And usually it's people who have not earned it.
Yeah.
And that's what they're doing. Well, you go and show me anyone from an HBSU who's done anything exceptional, except for acting and rap and music.
Right.
They got that. Acting and rap and music, they got that. But I'm talking about the sciences, man. A race can't sustain if we have no achievements in science.
Nah, for real. So that was all a part of taking down America is through taking down just our race, and then through that, because it's not a black or
what
white
happened
thing.
is all this comes from London, dude. This plan to destroy us all comes from London. And they knew that if black people adopted America fully, adopted our culture, it would make America unstoppable. They couldn't have let it happen. All this comes from London. The Tavistock Institute of Human Relations, the premier agency for mass brainwashing, who created all of these constructs, the civil rights movement, communism, all of it are in London. The music industry is in London. Who created gangster rap? London. London.
Man.
All socially engineered music that is somehow magically kept in a 1, 2, and 3rd grade education. Can you explain to me how in the world every single rapper musician is only writing music at a 1st and 2nd and 3rd education without some measure of control? How in the world would that be possible?
Right. I mean, like you said, it's because they pick them because that's. I mean, if they put those type of people in front of us, then that's who we aspire to be constantly, right?
What they have done to us is they have created a mechanism of blacks since Tuskegee, since the 3 sellout niggas that sold us out. They have created a mechanism where they have an unlimited amount of black people who are in line to become rich by selling us out.
Mm.
They have a mechanism for it, man. That's how these blacks make it. They don't make it unless they're willing to sell us out. They're recruited to make it. The boule only chooses people who these niggas you see, and I don't care what these people think. I'm using the word. I'm calling them niggas because of what they're doing. They're selling out their own people. In Hollywood, all of them know what's going on. They all know what's happening to us. They all know that we're being sold out. They all know.
Right.
They all know. That's why they work so hard to keep us angry and blaming white people, because they don't want us to ever find out. Listen, if we wouldn't have been so degraded morally, we would have figured it out that it was our own people to sell us out, because it's right in our face. It's in the Last Supper. Who sold Jesus out?
Man, it was everybody. Judas, Peter.
Nah, it was his friend. In the Last Supper, it was Judas that sold him out. Peter denied him, but Peter didn't sell him out. Judas is the one who sold him out for pieces of gold.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it says in the Bible that Judas was sitting. It's always the one supping with you. It's always the one that you least expect. It's always your brother. And black people would have figured this out. But when this happened to us, the civil rights movement, one of the things they did was they took away the church. They infiltrated all of our churches and replaced the Bible with the Communist Manifesto.
Damn.
Don't you see, Jamal, that they're preaching hating white people? Where in the world does it come from that you're using the Bible to hate white people? That's Antichrist, man.
Mm-hmm.
The same people that made black people made white people. There is no way that the Lord Jesus Christ, he died for white people the same. This is all from the Communist Manifesto, man. This is what happened. They took out the Bible. Black people used to wouldn't do that. You know that one of the beautiful things, Denzel, at the end of slavery, we were Christians. We Ethiopia wrote the first Bible.
Yeah, they did.
We know we were Christians because in the cotton fields we were singing "Swing Low, Sweet Chariot, Coming Forth." Remember that?
Yeah.
That was from the cotton field. That's from the book of Isaiah. We brought it in the cotton fields and we didn't get bitter. We never got bitter. That's why we were able to produce the greatest educational center in the world, because we didn't get bitter at white people for slavery. God touched us and we created the greatest school in the world, and we with no help from anyone, no food stamps, no social help, nothing, just us and the Bible. And then they came with the Socialist Communist Manifesto that taught us how to hate white people. And that's all we've been doing ever since, is hating white people. Look at it. That's all we do. Every black person you know has some beef or attitude towards white people. How in the world are we going to prosper with hate towards white people?
Mm.
How are we going to prosper? We can't get in touch with God. And one of the big problems with the black race is we have totally disconnected from God, from family, from our children.
Yeah.
And the only thing we think about is wealth. That's the only thing we think about is wealth. What race accepts drill music? The Italians don't accept drill music. Even the Latinos don't accept drill music. The Irish don't. The Jews don't. But who does? Us. Us. we accept it. What normal person accepts music that promotes young black men going out and killing each other every night? Black people do.
Mm.
There's something that has been socially engineered inside of us, my brother, that has lowered our connection to each other as black people. We see each other like we're nothing.
Yeah.
We don't even feel any type of connection to each other anymore, blacks. Blacks don't even help each other. There's no black shelters. There's no black social agencies. They're all white. Nevertheless, they're always talking about how bad white people are. Nevertheless, all the shelters are run by white people. And did you know that more white people adopt black babies than black people do?
Yeah, I see them all over the city, to be honest, in the Central West End.
How you gonna have animosity for people that are doing more to help your people than you are? That doesn't even make any sense, man. That kind of thinking, you can't prosper with that kind of asinine thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's the other things. Black people don't understand black history. They believe that they were in slavery for 200 years and 400 years. Black people were only in slavery for 47 years. That's right. They're stealing episodes of slavery from other people.
And you say 47 years.
We were only in slavery for 47 years. That's the slaves going from Africa to America. What they did was they attached the transatlantic slave trade to that, tried to make it 200 years. And who did that? Dale Carnegie.
Oh.
Because black people are a lot madder when you make them think they were in slavery longer than everybody. They also made sure that none of the books talk about any other of the slaves. The Irish were enslaved for 56 years. The Jews were in slavery for 400 years. The Italians were in slavery for 400 years. The Mexicans were in slavery for 400 years. The Jews were in slavery for 400 years. None of that is taught in school. It's just black people were in slavery for 400 years.
Yep.
Dude, this has all been done on purpose. This has all been done to us on purpose. For some reason, these people are extremely invested in keeping black people hating white people. And we need to find out why.
We need to find out.
We need to find out why, because I am telling you, I have never seen so many ads that continuously push white people, black people to hate white people. Yeah. And I can tell you right now, the mess that black people are in ain't because of white people. How could it be racism and oppression when we have all these Africans coming over here becoming medical doctors? Yep. Can you explain that to me? They're coming from overseas becoming medical doctors, and they're black as the ace of spades. I don't know if you've ever seen some of those African doctors. My wife is a doctor, and she trains medical doctors at Cleveland Clinic. And she trains these black doctors, and she asked them, do you see any race? They don't know what black people are talking about. So how in the world? Because black people were infected with the Communist Manifesto. So black people see racism everywhere because it's in our heads. It's in our heads, man. So let me explain how it happened to the audience. This is Karl Marx. Karl Marx was a deviant sexual pervert. He was a Mason. I have pictures of him where you can see him in the open hand. And he was a deviant sexual pervert, and he was a Luciferian. Karl Marx had poems, and I'm just going to be thrown out and be honest with it. It's nasty. It said he loved Satan so much, he wanted to eat the shit out of his daughter's asshole, chew it up, put it back in her asshole, and chew it up again. The man was a psychopath. He wrote the Communist Manifesto. It probably wasn't perfected, but he met with Chatham House, which is the great writers of Chatham House, or Tavistock. He met with them in 1847, and they helped him to put together and social engineer the Communist Manifesto, and then he rolled it out in 1848 magically. Oh, he was poor as shit before it. After he met with them, he managed to become completely moved to England, lived in walking distance of Tavistock, and was at the London Library every day with these psychopaths. And his family came out of poverty. Oh, by the way, He molested and raped all of his daughters because that's what they do. You will always find out that these individuals are involved with sexual perversion because it's in the Communist Manifesto. It's a demonic doctrine. These people are all devout Luciferians. So what they did was when they made this construct, this ideology, by the way, all the stuff I'm telling you is what the movie The Matrix is about. They're talking about social engineering. They're talking about the science of controlling people's minds, and people never even know what's going on, and live constructs and lives that were given to them, and they think it's their own. That's what it is. That's what I'm talking about today. They then had this construct. This is the construct that they keep repeatedly using in every construct that they make. In 1986, at the same conference that they met every year, that they met with Karl Marx, and they met with Lenin in 1917 and financed the Bolsheviks' war. They met in 1986 and said that they were going to roll out climate change, interracial dating. For some reason, they know something about interracial dating that does something to us that they want us to keep doing it. I haven't figured that part out yet. They said they were rolling out gangster rap and transgenderism. Said they were rolling it out. Have you noticed that all of these people that adopt these ideologies become violent and start burning down shit? Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
Transgenders are now, all 12 last school shooters were transgenders. Feminist movement, they get violent in their riots. Climate change, they put nails in trees so that guys can lose their eyes and their hands and their arms to save the trees. These people are crazy. It's because all of these ideologies have it within them, the Communist Manifesto. So it will always lead to violence, death, and destruction. That's what they brainwashed black people with in the civil rights movement. That's why they were always burning down shit. Dude, I have the it was violent. And this is what they did. They taught them. Here's one of the many news clippings I have that report the violence of the civil rights movement. Where this woman was like a bouncer informer. They were breaking people's arms. They had to physically torture people, black people, to get them to cooperate with the civil rights movement like the mafia, because black people did not want it. Black people were doing just fine before the civil rights movement, but they did not want it. So they forced them to take. What they did was I told you they infiltrated all the churches, the Southern Conference, all the black churches. They infiltrated them, and they got the pastors to then make the people cooperate with the civil rights movement. And if you didn't, man, they'd burn down your house. They burned down your house. When people started realizing that the civil rights movement was fraudulent, what it really was, that's when they brought in Hollywood. That's when they brought in Sammy Davis Jr., Frank Sinatra. Remember that?
Yeah, and that's what part of what Malcolm X was kind of warning when he was saying, you know, why are you putting our political figures, Lena Horne and Sammy Davis Jr. speaking for us?
Dude, all of our lead black leaders are sold out. I can tell you that right now. They're all of them. If they make it there, they're sold out. And I dare anybody to show me anything that any black leader has done to help us. Show me anything that they have ever done that resulted in the prosperity of black people. Dare you? Dare me to show you one. You can't find it.
Right.
Because these people are committed against us. The Democratic Party is committed to two things. They're committed to these people, and they're committed to keeping us blaming white people for our demise. When it was these three sellout niggas that sold us out. And it's been, dude, I'm telling you, listen, your viewers may not believe me, but I'm going to tell you something. In Hollywood, and I know black people have thought this. You see these people in Hollywood have no talent. You see that. I know you've wondered, how is this dude a billionaire, can't dance, can't sing? How is this? Because they're all a part of this bloodline. I guarantee you, that if you make them take blood tests, you will find out that they're all related to either Booker T. Washington, Carter Woodson, or W.E. Du Bois. Now, they try to say that Carter Woodson does not have any family because somehow, magically, his penis was amputated.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why the story goes.
Well, I only know one guy who got his penis amputated in my life. In 30 years of mental health, he was in a mental hospital, and he had cut it off with a butter knife. He was schizophrenic, and the voices told him to cut it off. It is almost impossible to get your dick cut off. It's really hard. It's not as easy as you think. It almost always has to be done intentionally. I mean, there's hardly anybody that gets their dick cut off. I think this guy hid his family. I think he hid his family. What's another reason I believe that? The business he started is still going on today. Who owns this business?
Right. If
Who's
he
running
didn't
this
have no
business?
Family, right?
Yeah. If his family's not running it, who's running it? The CIA?
Straight up.
So I don't believe. I think the guy's lineage is still alive today, and he was smart enough to try to hide his lineage. Damn. And I'm going to tell you something. I tried to research their lineage, and dude, it has what we call a dead end. And as a researcher, whenever you run into a dead end, that means the person's history is fabricated. There are no dead ends.
Right.
Yeah, if you really existed and you were on this planet, and you literally, if you got on a plane today and went to New York and came back, we would literally have all kinds of footprints that you went there and back. See what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And even in things where I find a dead end, I always find a reasonable explanation. There's no reasonable explanation for this guy. His life is a dead end, which tells me somebody went in and fabricated for him. Somebody doesn't want us to know about this. But I believe if we blood tested them in Hollywood, many of them niggas in Hollywood are there because they have no talent. They're there because they're in this bloodline. And in this contract, I believe that the contract agreement was anyone from that lineage would be allowed to succeed even if they didn't have talent. So you see Joy Reid?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Dude, you listen to Joy Reid. Does that woman have any talent? When have you ever heard her say anything intelligent?
Nope. You know,
ever.
I was watching a movie last night that kind of showed that a girl was working in banking, and she ended up, long story short, they end up throwing her in jail for embezzlement for the crime or whatever, because she came out of the hood. She was dating a dude, and she was wondering why her boyfriend didn't come see her. And he was like, "My dad's a senator. You know, I can't be seen with you." You know what I mean? So like, that right there,
well,
like
Joy Reid, there's no way in the world I believe in her degree that she honestly earned a degree in, that she actually did the work on. I'm a Ph.D. and I understand the intellectual resources of someone who has gone through a Ph.D. program, a serious Ph.D. program. My Ph.D. program did put me against the wall. You hear me?
Mm-hmm.
It does something to you intellectually, meaning if you're talking to somebody who actually did the work to do it, there should be some residual intellectual resources. You know? And I do not see any critical thinking skills with this moron. It's always racial overtones and emotion. And she says the dumbest shit that can't be true.
It just makes us look bad on an intellectual level, if you will. It's like the same thing how we was talking off air about watching Kamala Harris, you know, that display.
She's another one. I do not believe that she legitimately earned a law degree. I don't believe it. I think they let her go through school. I believe that if you go, and I hope President Trump sees this and does this, if he goes through those HBSU's transcripts, you will find that these people have been selectively choosing people to get degrees
Yep.
and to put them in positions. And you will find that none of these people have earned these degrees. They're not intellectually equipped for these positions. They have been selected to take these jobs. And Camilla Harris is a perfect example, dude. Would you want her to be your lawyer?
Heck no. Her no.
You had a
No.
murder charge. Would you want that illiterate moron who can't even get a sentence out to be defending you? Dude, you'd go to prison for the rest of your life. I guarantee it. She is a moron. She did not. I know she didn't legitimately earn a law degree. They recruited her, man.
And it's sad, man, because they tried it. Like they tried it once with Barack Obama, putting him over the finish line in front of him. Though he might have been
Now
savvy, he was destructive to us too.
let me explain the history of Obama. I lived in Chicago, and I was a pastor on the pastoral staff of a very large church, about 6,000, and we had 2,000 in our youth group, and I was youth pastor. We all knew the man was gay. He was at gay bars every night. And the gays told me that it only surprised them that he went for the presidency. But his entire history is fake. They do this. The dude that raised him was the same guy that filmed his mother in the porn movies. His mother was a porn star. She worked for USA Today. She was in the CIA. The grandparents were in the CIA.
Yeah.
The guy that she remarried after she supposedly with the African guy, which I don't believe that shit for a minute, that's really his father. The guy Sartoro was in the CIA in the oil business with the Bushes. So the Bushes have known Barack Obama since childhood. They've known him since childhood. That's why they were giving them those pieces of candy all the time. You ever notice he do that?
Yep.
That was a mockery, letting you know he knew him in childhood because they were in the oil business together. So Toro, the guy she married, and the Bushes have been in the oil business for decades. The grandparents were CIA operatives and were in charge of a bank that was a CIA front. That's all documented and proven. That's not scary. So this guy has been groomed to be the president since the beginning. They've been grooming this guy. They knew when he was in high school at the Hawaii school, all the kids said he was gay, and then he'd have men come and meet old men that would give him money, and that's how he was smoking crack. They said he was smoking crack. The kids that were at the school in Hawaii said he was smoking crack, man.
And then just to add on top of that, the guy who wrote a book about it and was on Tucker Carlson, Larry Sinclair, who was talking about how he had fellatio activities and
yeah, he's sucking dick. If you're sucking dick, he's been gay.
Yeah, he just died.
Yeah, we knew. Let me tell you how it happened. Guy, the bishop, that psycho bishop, the church he goes to in Chicago, that dude's gay too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? That bishop, that church, he's gay too.
Eddie Long.
But his church, yeah, no. The guy he had that said that we should go to hell, that America should go to hell. When he first became president, he was going to the guy's church in Chicago.
Okay, yeah, that guy. I remember.
Yeah, I forget the guy, but anyway, the guy's church is a black church where black men who are affluent who are homosexuals living on the down low, but they're very affluent and they don't want people to know, go to meet and marry women who will hide their down low activity. That's where he met Michelle. That's where he met Michelle, but everybody knew Michelle was a man. He's into that freaky shit. He's into that low down shit. So that's where he met her. This guy has parties where he introduces people that marry affluent black men who are really homosexuals. They like to tell themselves they're not gay, but they're gay. You know, sucking dick wouldn't tell people they're not gay. So that's where he came from. Now listen to this. Before this happened, there were two gay guys that Obama was in relationship with. Both of them mysteriously died.
Yep. Sure did.
Yep, mysteriously died. And the mother swears to God that the son came to her and said he was scared for his life because Obama was going to run for president and had to wipe out his past. Man. So that's the dude.
And I think he's a deviant sexual pervert. I think he's a pedophile. I think he was running a pedophile ring in the White House. What's his name? WikiLeaks got his emails, and he was talking about having pizza in the White House.
Yeah, pizza.
You can't eat pizza in the White House. You're not allowed to bring in the White House for security reasons. You cannot bring a Snicker bar in that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you have to. All food is made in the White House. So we know the man wasn't talking about pizza. And the man said $65,000 worth of pizza. Did anybody see any $65,000 worth of pizza come to? The man was talking about little boys, man.
Yep, because you ain't even see no pizza box or no boxes be delivered.
Yeah, the man was talking about little boys, man. Come on, let's just put it out there. The man's a pedophile. The man's a pedophile, man. Yeah. They're all pedophiles. They're all Luciferian pedophiles. They're all doing it. John Legend's girlfriend was on Twitter.
Yeah, talking about how she loved to taste the baby's blood, and I would love it. Yeah.
They're all doing it. They're all eating babies. What's her name said it? What's her name that had that show, Barbara Ann? She said it. They're all eating. She was in Hollywood with them. You constantly hear about it.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, these people are doing these rituals, man. They're doing it. I mean, after P. Diddy's party, those were not parties. They were rituals.
Mm-hmm.
That's what was going on. They were rituals, man. They were these people are doing rituals to stay rich and famous. And some of these rituals are really. I went to Bible college and seminary, and we used to have ex-Luciferians, ex-Mormons, ex-Jehovah's Witnesses, because all those religions were socially engineered. They're all created religions. Islam, all of them. They would come and tell us what these people are like and what they're doing. These people have rituals where they have to eat shit, man. All their rituals to Satan have to be vile. It has to be vile and disgusting. All of it. And these people that make you think that they need to be envied or are so beautiful and glamorous are eating buckets of shit. They have to do whatever they're told to stay rich. The dudes have to take it in the ass. You heard it all, man. And I mean, it's all of them. It's Denzel Washington. It's Keanu Reeves. What they like to do is have these certain personalities in Hollywood that give you the impression that Hollywood still has good left in it. I will assure you it's all of them. If they're there, it's all of them. All of them. Every single one of them. The ones that you think are so nice and sweet and giving, I learned a principle with them. And the principle in Luciferianism is this. These people are not allowed to do anything good. They're not allowed. However, there is one clause. They can do good if it results in greater evil. So whenever you see them giving money to something, they always have to be stealing 10 times more. Isn't that something, man? And this is a principle that they live by, man.
Man, that's so fucked up. And with all that being said, it really explains why we as black people behave like that. Because if that's who we constantly look up to is the Barack Obama, the P. Diddy's, the Martin Luther Kings, and all of that, and knowing that that's who they was spiritually, it shows and it reflects in our culture, if you will. You know what I mean?
Well, they give us these leaders on purpose. It's not by accident. They give us these leaders. These leaders, all these Crockett. Do you notice that they always seem to portray this ghetto persona? Do you notice that whenever they get someone to try to communicate to the black community, it's never an articulate, educated. It's always some ghetto nigga jive shit. Dude, this is all socially engineered.
Even Cornel West, because they would say Cornel West is an intellect. I would say even Cornel West is a part of that.
And yeah, and then one of the guys they recruited was that doctor, what's his name? Who the only thing, I forget what he's, you know what I'm talking about? Dr. He's some African dude. Yeah, and yeah. What's say his name again?
Dr. Umar, the one that was begging for school.
Yeah, I challenged him to a debate. He kept following me, but he would never answer. But I challenged him. I said, I'd like to hear about how you earned your Ph.D. Because I can tell that nigga did not actually earn a Ph.D. One is, everything he talks about is always circular.
You're right.
You understand? Whenever you see a person who's actually earned a PhD, what you learn is you learn the subject of social behavioral science. But with that, you always have the opening for different topics. You see what I mean?
Exactly.
Because you learn the science, then you find the topics. You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
When you have circular, predetermined topics all the time, that means there's no other resources, which tells me
Exactly.
he didn't get a real PhD. He doesn't have resources. There's no resources for him to pull from because he didn't actually learn the science. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
See, once I learn the science, I can talk about it all day. I can keep pulling from the resources that I earned with the discipline that I invested in the studying, all the writing, all the papers, all the, you know what I mean? All the research.
Exactly. So you able to go further and in depth and able to, like you say, listen to different theories and maybe come from a different point of view and maybe even come,
Exactly.
but
He doesn't even use theories.
yeah.
He don't even use any theories. That's one of the questions I wanted to ask him. All he's using is historical, ethnic, cultural ideologies. None of them have any basis in theories because the study has already been done and it showed that race and color only impacts 0.1% of a person's life. If it affects them, it's because they let it affect them. So you don't think I had racist professors? For the 13 years I spent in school,
Right.
I think I had professors. You think all my professors wanted to see me succeed?
Right.
You know what I mean? They were all white. None of them were black. I never had any black ones. They were all white. I can tell you right now that some of them did not want me to succeed, but they could not overpower my willingness to invest. Even though they did not want me to succeed, their racism and lack of benevolence towards me couldn't overpower my efforts towards my own individual life.
Mm-hmm.
Black people want to live in this fantasy that somehow white people's lack of benevolence for them is powerful enough so that they can't succeed. So basically what black people are saying, oh my God, white people don't like me. I can't get a degree. Because that's all they're talking about. Ain't no white people out there killing them. Ain't no white people out there standing in front of schools blocking them. Ain't no white people out there stopping them from getting jobs and job training. None of this is happening. So what are they talking about? They're only talking about the thinking and attitudes that they believe that white people have towards them.
Man, and that's so true. So with that being said, man, I mean, because we diagnosed the problem, honestly.
Yes.
So what would be the solution to my listeners and those who are out there? Because we can't save them all, and that's not really the job, to be honest. You got to worry about yourself.
Exactly.
But I love having information and at least presenting it to people, because it's like if I learn something, I want to share it with people. You know what I mean? So yeah. So what do you think?
I'm traditional and simple. I believe it's biblical what the truth is, what the solution is. The solution is this. The problem is a lie. The problem is that black people have been inundated with things that are not true. So what's the solution? To become inundated with the truth. You shall know the truth, that shall make you free. We need more people like you and me who've invested the time and energy to actually find out what the hell is going on. Not opinions, not thinking about it, not wondering, taking the time to research. And we know we have times, we have dates, we have documents. We can show you, we can use science to show you, we know what's going on. We know what's going on in the black community. We don't have any of that. The majority of people, even the people that try to tell them, have a very weak handle on what's going on. They have a very weak handle on it. They do not understand from the roots what the problem is.
Right.
And the problem is that black people are trying to live a life that was created for them. We're trying to live the civil rights movement. We use it all the time. We use it with every breath, and it's fake. It was faked.
It's fake.
They recruited our own people to do this shit to us. And it's even deeper than that. I found a document from Herbert Hoover, where they got all the social scientists from these schools they created, Spelman, Morehouse, Atlanta Clark School. They were creating social engineers that were black, infecting them in the black community, making black people think that these stores or barber shops were just black people from the community. They were actually these social engineers infecting us with hatred towards America and the Communist Manifesto. And this went on for decades. Yeah. We thought they were normal stores, regular stores, shoe stores, banks, coffee shops. They were social engineering hubs, and all the people working there were actors, and they were actually social engineers. And they were black. The document is right here.
Damn, that is wicked. I used to be a barber too, so it's just like, damn, that is just.
And what they were doing is they were doing it like this. We call it soft opinion creating. And what happened is opinion creating works best if it's done with someone who you totally trust or don't feel threatened by. So here I am, your local barber, saying, well, man, I know that we seem to be getting along better with white people, but do you think we should trust them? They would say shit like that just to put in doubts.
Right.
Yeah, and they were doing this every time they went in. And the black people didn't even know it. What was going on? Dude, they're doing that now. They're doing that now. They probably have hubs everywhere. They could be Starbucks, regular places where they continuously infect people with a hatred for white people and keep it going. And the black people don't even know it. And they're doing it in the white neighborhoods too. What they do with the white people is they go, man, these black people, they killed another white kid. I really feel for these black people, but how long we go? They do shit like that. What they're trying to do is social engineer a war between black people and white people.
That's why
if you go on Instagram, you'll see that they're constantly posting 24 hours a day when a black kid kills a white person. You see that? You ever notice it?
Man.
I see it on Facebook all the time. They're posting. And then on the other hand, they're posting shit like from black history. On this date, white people burned down an entire house of black people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if they posted, they're doing it on both sides.
And they really trying
to kill both of us, man. What they want us to do is for us to do our work for them, for us to get into a war with black people, and for black people to get in a war with white people, so we cancel each other out.
Right.
That's what they want. Yeah. That's what they want, man. And I'll be honest with you, brother, I'm a little afraid they're close to it.
Yeah. I can't lie. It seems like it's really getting close to it, because it's like the more and more you see more hatred in us, and people just not understanding.
When I listen to black people justifying their hatred for white people based on something that isn't even true, it's scary, dude. Like black people are now justifying killing white people.
Yep.
They deserve it. Where in the world is this demonic? When I saw that we couldn't have any compassion for that white man that lost his boy to that black kid Camilio, when I saw we couldn't even humble ourselves and lay down our civil rights attitude for a minute to just acknowledge the pain in losing a child, when we couldn't at least acknowledge that white people and black people have that in common.
Come on.
We hurt when we lose our children. When I saw that shit, brother, I said to myself, the Communist Manifesto has reached its point in black people's ideologies and minds. It has taken all our love away, man.
Man.
Black people are hateful, man. Black people are hateful, man. We're hateful now. I watched Jamal this low-life piece of shit black pastor, and he's a recruit, believe me, he's been recruited by them. Everything he says in his messages have been handed him. He's also a sexual deviant. When I hear him behind the pulpit encouraging black people, my precious black people, to hate white people, something I know that will only result in the destruction of black people, I'm amazed, brother. Did we get something?
Yeah. Nah, you good. Man, I'm that's sad, bro, to see what's going on, man, in our culture, bro. So it's like, you right, man.
The death train, man. We're on a train heading for a collision course. Of this, there is no doubt. Our decline has been consistent and constant since the civil rights movement. So we have been rapidly declining ever since. So it's never gone up. It's only gone down. And it's going down every year. Dude, there can only be one end result to that. If we keep going down, I mean, common sense, good judgment, wisdom, and critical thinking skills, what can be the only outcome of that shit?
Man, shit, the decline of a whole human race, or at least the black race, for real.
I'll be honest with you. I think our race has about 50 years before we really start seeing some shit. And I'm going to tell you something. White people are aware now that it's not them. They know now it's not. They've seen the ridiculous of our marches. Did you know that they told the Democrats not even to have, I don't know if you've noticed it, but at those Democratic marches now, there's no black people. Do you know that they told black people to stay home?
Dang.
Yeah, because they were acting a fool and they felt that the white people could do the civil rights thing better than them. That's where you see them singing all them stupid songs. Whose side are you on?
No, that's why they, which side,
are you on? That's all replication of the civil rights movement, trying to replicate the same energy and that same fake ass shit in the civil rights movement. That's all that shit is trying to get people fired up again to burn down shit. And it's really sad, man. It's really, and here's the thing that's sad to me, my brother. After we have seen decades that the civil rights shit isn't working, the Democratic Party has been lying to us. We ain't gonna get no reparations. And even if we did, it would destroy America. And where would we go then? We'd be everybody's slave after that. Right. Guaranteed. If there was no America, the ships would start coming to get our black asses because there'd be no one to protect us. I mean, where do they think this is going, man? Where it's going to go where it's always gone, downhill.
Right.
If we don't, I'm telling you, if we don't drop this civil rights movement and find another pathway to black excellence, we're done for. If we don't stop. But here's the thing. After all these Democrats have shown us the way they have used us and abused us and lied to us and made fools of us, and then now with Elon, we found out how much they've stolen from us and sent the money overseas and give it to illegal aliens.
Right.
Black people are still registering as Democrats.
I don't understand it.
Yeah,
I do now, but you know what I'm saying? But it's like, golly.
I mean, this is like the woman who comes to me for counseling, whose boyfriend is just whipping her ass every day. And after she leaves my office, she gets in her car and drives right back to the house with the guy's whipping her ass. I don't know what to say about it. I don't know what to say. I mean, when do you say, you know, wow, man, I can't let this guy whip my ass anymore? I mean, when, I don't know. But it's obvious that black people are in a relationship with the Democratic Party that totally meets the clinical criteria for an abusive relationship. Yeah, I mean, it is a relationship of insurmountable abuse.
Whew.
And black people still keep signing up for it, defending her. And brother, we talked about this. When I heard Kamala Harris say, I heard black people say Kamala Harris was intelligent, I knew
That was it for us.
Man, I'm not gonna lie, neither. That really hurted my heart when people was like, "Oh, she's so
Yeah,
intelligent, and y'all just mad." And
yeah.
I'm like, "Are you serious?"
Black people. Yeah.
And these were the same people that had PhDs and they smart, and then you just
I mean,
that's when
wow,
shit started really
wow,
clicking to me. I'm
wow.
like,
We couldn't even admit that. I mean, I said,
man,
black people are gonna support this ethno shit until it kills us.
yep,
They're gonna support it no matter what it does. Now, the only thing that explains to me how black people are still supporting the Democratic Party after they have whipped our ass, made a fool out of us for decades, is that we have been brainwashed. That's the only thing. And that's what happens in abusive relationships. They're brainwashed.
yeah. I
That's
mean,
actually what happens. Yeah,
I
they've
mean,
been
cause,
brainwashed.
'cause they tell you in the relationship, oh, you can't go nowhere without me, and you won't do this
Exactly.
without me, and that's what the Democrat Party is saying. Like, you can't do this without me. We the one that gave you your
Exactly.
civil
Exactly.
rights, and it's like,
Exactly,
and
my
they
brother.
didn't. They never did, and you can present all the evidence showing how the Republican Party gave us
These niggas
every
ain't gonna
right.
leave.
Just
Brother, I have had women that were with these abusive men who have kicked out all their teeth. The women were actually beautiful when they got with these dudes. When they came to my office, they looked like pure shit in hell. And I mean, scars on their faces and
that's
shit,
sad,
man.
man.
And I mean, they get in their cars and drive right back, close the door, go in the house and get whipped on again, and then come to my office and tell me how they can't stand the way he treats them. Dude, it's insane. It's insane. I see the Democratic Party relationship with black people the same way. Black people are in an abusive relationship.
And how do most abusive relationships end? Unfortunately,
He ends up basically killing her at the end. And I'll tell you, the only end that's going to come to black people if they continue to support and unite the Democratic Party is the same shit that's been happening: poverty and more poverty. Because that's that. I guarantee that black people will continue in more poverty. That's the only thing that's going to happen. While we watch these three sellout niggas lineages, I mean, I can tell you this. I believe that what's his name, the basketball player, that flaky, freaky, psycho. What's his name, black dude?
LeBron James.
LeBron James. You know they had a video of him hearing him raping a dude and getting it from P. Diddy. These dudes are doing these rituals where they're getting butt fucked. I mean, excuse my language. They're doing anal, man. Excuse my language. God forgive me. They're doing this stuff, man. I know he's one of the bloodline.
Yeah.
I noticed that the NBA caters to him like you wouldn't believe. I bet you he's in the bloodline. And the guy, there's in a video saying he's in the boule.
Yeah, the boule, and that's protected by the Divine Nine, right?
Huh?
I'm sorry.
What?
I said, and the boule, because I'm glad you said that. That's protected by like the Divine Nine and those fraternities and sororities as well, right?
The boule is the result of this contract when these three niggas sold us out.
Come on.
The boule is the people in the boule are in this bloodline, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then it grew from there as these people grew families and shit. What also the boule is the boule are gatekeepers, meaning they are guarding their three lineages by only letting people succeed that they have chosen to succeed, people who have stuff that they can benefit from and suck dry, or people in the bloodline. And that's what they are. And they've grown now, and they're in Hollywood. They're newscasters. They're musicians. Usually they have no talent. And you'll see them everywhere, but they're from this bloodline. And that's where the boule comes from. And they were all light-skinned in the boule. They were all doctors and dentists. I believe that they were given these degrees. I don't believe that they were people that earned their degrees. I believe they were given degrees because they were in this bloodline to keep this contract going. Now, when you see the massacre, what was that called? The massacre? What do you call that?
The Mississippi the Tulsa massacre.
Yeah, Tulsa massacre.
when you see that, they want you to believe that the Tulsa massacre took place because these white people hated black people. No. Tulsa massacre was a result of this contract that only the people in this bloodline and who the Boule chose would be allowed to succeed. The people who got massacred were people who were not in that bloodline and tried to succeed. And because of that contract, they had to be massacred. And they want you to believe they use that as a constant support for racism. They lie. They're lying, dude. It's because of that damn contract. Yep. And the same shit happened in Rosewood, too. They can't let blacks who are not in this bloodline succeed. Man. They can't. Wow. They can't let you succeed. If you try to, they come.
It makes sense.
If they do let, huh?
I said it makes sense because we had a riot here in East St. Louis, Illinois, to where now it's been decimated. And they said that was a thriving black town. And Kenlock as well here in St. Louis, that was a thriving black town that's got decimated or whatever through the expansion of the highway and the airport and stuff.
I can guarantee you, my brother, that the root cause, they cover it up in shit. They cover it up in stuff. What they love to cover it up is to blame white people. I am telling you, the Tulsa Massacre was black people. W.E. Du Bois, Carter Woodson, and Booker T. Washington had their signature on that shit.
Man, and that's new information. Yeah. So it's like, where can people find that at? You know,
dude, you have to dig for the research and put the puzzles together. It's a puzzle. And the puzzle that first showed me was Tuskegee. I could not explain away Tuskegee because you can't explain it away that after we created the greatest educational institution in the world, that these three people, Dale Carnegie, the Rothschilds, and the Rockefellers, then gave us free education. Dude, it's like my mother said, you ain't got to catch her in bed naked with the dude to know she's cheating on you. All you have to do is be somebody who's willing to face the truth and accept the truth when you see it and use common sense, good judgment, wisdom, and critical thinking skills. I don't have to have all the documents to know what happened. When I see a group of black people come out of slavery faster than any race, and then I see them create the greatest educational institution in the world, one who has not been matched till this day, and then I see three Luciferians, the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers and Dale Carnegie, offer free education, I know what happened. I know what happened. And then I see those people who got educated butcher their own people. I already know what happened. I'm a behavioral and social scientist. I know what happened. Those people were brainwashed. And the picture I have of them is proof of it. I mean, you could see it on their faces that they don't like what's going on. There are 9 of them are turning their faces away. Let me try to get this thing. I wish I knew how to take this thing off. Next time I won't use it. But 9 of them are turning their faces away. And I'm a social behavioral scientist, and I understand body language. And the statistical probability of 9 people in a picture turning their faces and hiding their faces at the same time, and they're not sending you a message, is statistically impossible. These people knew what was happening to you, and they were sending a message trying to let us know, look what they're doing to us. Look what, and they couldn't do anything about it because these people sold them out. And the same thing is happening today. The same reason that these people went on to graduate and butcher and sterilize and experiment as their own black people is the same social engineering process of why we kill our own people at 98% today. It's been socially, it'll get worse. It'll get worse.
Man, that's
because
terrible.
The problem with this social engineering thing is the longer people adopt it, the more it becomes permanent, meaning the harder it is for them to let it go. it's the hardest for black people now to say, you know what, they brainwashed us with this civil rights movement. It's very hard for people to let it go because it's now become a part of their personality. It's very hard. It was, dude, when I found out that all this shit was phony, when I first did the research on this, I cried for an entire week. Yeah, I sat at my desk and cried because my whole world was based on the civil rights movement. Do you know how many times I quoted Martin Luther King?
I mean, yeah. I can imagine.
And coming to find out the man never wrote anything. Coming to find out he was coached. Coming to find out that he was ordering assassinations. See, what he did is Elijah Cummings was his second-hand man in the civil rights movement. He would use Elijah. It's in the documents. It's the informants that were in the civil rights movement. They had informants in it. Had this all recorded. So it's all documented. He would give the orders to Elijah Cummings, and then Elijah Cummings would make sure the guy got assassinated. Because what they were doing was keeping his persona as the man of peace. That nigga was killing people, dude. That nigga was ordering the assassination of black women. If there were certain black people that knew and figured out what they were doing, just like there normally is people who figure it out. And they would rail against them, saying, they trying to do this to us. They trying to bring in this social, they going against our, they would eliminate them, dude. Yeah. Do you know that they were burning down black churches and blaming white people?
Damn. To know that
they were burning down and blowing up, and I'll be honest with you, I'm not convinced that it was the Ku Klux Klan that blew up that church with those girls,
four black
little girls. Yeah, dude. In the Communist Manifesto, one of the strategies is blowing your own shit up and then blaming it on your enemy.
Damn.
That's in the Communist Manifesto, man. Yeah, they were doing that. They were blowing up their own churches and then claiming, look what these white people are doing to us. They were getting violent during the civil rights movement. What they would do is they would, before they got there to the city that they were doing the riots, they would already hire people. I got the documents, man. I got it from the 4 bus. They would hire criminals, people that were violent and had criminal records, to do violence behind the civil rights movement. So they would hire these people prior to getting to the city and have it all set up where these people would start breaking windows and burning down shit. They would be at the front pretending that they were being peaceful when they had planned this whole violent shit. Then when they would bring in the dogs and shit, the police would bring in the dogs, they would take pictures of it and say, see, look what they're doing to us because we're black.
God damn.
That's what they were doing, man. Yeah, that's what they were doing, man. It's all this shit they were doing in the Communist Manifesto in Russia.
Now, I'm gonna just push back just a little bit. What about when people say,
good.
You know, of course. So what about the police acting in? What was the Congressman Bull Connor or what have you? And that whole, you know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about?
I'm not doubting that there were bad things done. Because you have to understand, when they were doing this, there were only a few people that knew this was going on. This was a social engine campaign. There were other actors involved with desegregation and racism and stuff. They were not privy to what was going on in the civil rights movement. You understand?
Right.
They didn't even realize that they were doing this stuff. This was a project that they were doing. They didn't even understand that. They were acting on their own. So there were lynchings and things like that that had nothing to do. But what I'm telling you is, this is a fact. I'm not saying that there are other things that happened, but I am telling you that they were creating shit. That's a fact. That's in the documents. They were creating shit themselves and then saying that white people were doing it. That is a fact. That's in the documents, man. That's in the documents. They were doing this to continue to heighten and strengthen the civil rights. Dude, they did it today. They do it today. They had a black kid who faked
a civil rights thing, and then they found out it was him. We've had that happen several times here. They do this shit, man. They want to keep black people hating white people. We need to find out why, because they are very invested in it. They are extremely invested in it. And it's over the top. As a behavioral and social scientist, when I see the amount of time, energy, and money that these monsters are investing to keep black people focused in blaming white people for all their problems, that tells me these people have an agenda. And it ain't to free black people.
Right.
It ain't to set black people free. These people have a plan in place. They're not doing this for nothing. They're running social engineering programs 24 hours a day to motivate black people to keep hating. What is going on that they want us to keep hating and blaming white people like this? That's what I'm saying. They've done this since the civil rights movement. This is not new. This is not. Do you know that in those lynchings that took place that they have pictures of, those pictures are doctored. All of those lynchings took place with white people there. When they were lynching white people too, because when they were lynching, they weren't going after black people. They were going after Republicans. And Republicans were both black and white. Yeah. And they had pictures of them. So when they were doing these lynchings, they knew who they were looking for. And they actually had whites lynched too. They lynched just as many whites as they lynched blacks. Most black people don't know that. But in the civil rights movement, and during not the civil rights movement, but during the Ku Klux Klan during that era, they were lynching white Republicans too. Go to white Republicans' house and shoot them dead. One of them lived. They went to his house and shot him. He came out with a gun, and they shot him up, but he lived. But it's documented, man. These people have been faking our shit forever. Is what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah.
They are invested to keep us thinking and believing in a certain way. And I am telling you, I have found out that it's false. All the shit that comes up about hating white people, all this stuff, our history has been savagely distorted, man. Savagely distorted. Everything I went to look up, I had to go and remodify in my mind. And here's the thing. Here's the problem. Everything that black people are today, everything that we look at towards the future is based on the civil rights movement. That means we're doomed because it was faked. Everything about it. That means it's fruit from the poisonous tree. Everything that came out of it is poison.
That's true.
Everything that comes out of the civil rights movement is poison. Dude, do you know how deep that is? I found that, you know that saying, sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never harm me?
Yeah.
That was a church that was taken over by the civil rights movement and by this entity, and they took over their printing. And they wrote that. It does, and you know it's false. It's not true.
Yeah.
Sticks and stones will kill your bones. And names have called people to commit suicide.
Yeah, that's true.
They did this in preparation for this, man. And the guy who was the pastor of the church, I have his quote. He knew he was too old to fight them, but he knew they were taking over, bringing communism in the church. And he actually said something about it. He said, "You're trying to colonize us."
Damn.
Yeah, I have it. It was an African Methodist Episcopal church. During this time, those were the churches they were taking over. Southern Baptist Church, the African Episcopal, they took over all of them. All of them became communists. All.
Golly.
So that's it, buddy. I don't know how long you got.
Hey, well, we went over for real.
Well, I'm sorry, brother.
No, but I think it was real informative, man. I learned a lot. Because
my book is coming out. My book is coming out probably beginning of the year 2026. The Black Disease.
Yeah, man. Well, definitely we're gonna be on the lookout for that. It's been a real pleasure having you on.
Hey, thank you. Sorry I went over, brother.
No, you're good, man. Ain't nobody else. The show's over. I mean, we the last show of the day, so it's like we had time to talk. it was informative, man, because like you said, we needed to get this out. It needed to be
Yes.
said at the end of the day, and no better than an expert and a man of your caliber who's actually done the research to really say, hey, we're fucked up, and here's the evidence.
Yeah,
And
it's deep, brother. It's deep.
it's definitely deep.
It scares me sometimes.
Yeah.
It does. Deep. Yeah.
So yeah.
And what scares me is black people are totally uninvested in our race. When I tell them about it, it's like they don't even care. They say to me, well, what about white people?
That's the first thing they say. So I'm glad, and that's why I try to use my show, man. I just had an artist on earlier today on my show, so it's like I want to promote music, but then I also still want to have these type of conversation, and sometimes even in person, I myself shy away from tough conversations, but I think it's necessary to grow. You know what I mean?
I do too. But when I see my race, the thought that we won't really be here, we won't be a significant race of no significance in 60, 70, 100 years, I got to throw my hat in and do something, man.
Yeah.
Because we're in bad shape. We're in bad shape, man.
Yeah, that's for sure. So, Dr. T,
all right, my brother. God bless.
Please tell everybody.
Me know about it so I can download it.
Yeah, I'm gonna send it to you. I'm gonna send it to you right after the show. I'm gonna send you the link. Please tell everybody where they can find you and follow you one last time, man. Please.
You can follow me on Instagram, Dr. T. That's DRTE, Dr. T on Instagram. I'm also on Facebook, Dr. Terrence Rozelle.
Absolutely.
Please join me.
Man, well, thank you so much, Dr. T.
God bless. Thanks for the privilege, my precious brother.
Thank you for the knowledge and the wisdom.
God bless everyone.
God bless you, man. Yeah, man, that was Dr. T leaving the scene, man. We appreciate you guys on this special edition of Cartoons and Cuts where we talk about 60 years later, and basically the damage of what one Negro can do, man. Straight up, man. Like I said, bro. Let me pull up this screen. Hold up, because y'all can't see me. But yeah, man. Like I said, bro, what we really wanted to talk about is at least get this conversation. So I really appreciate you guys talking and being in the cut with me, man. Like I said, don't be the tree that falls for the axe in the wood, man, because this handle looks like you and it's made out of wood. Please, instead, have a mind of your own, man. Walking out the door, gotta leave you with one song, man. I'm gonna leave you with my guy, Lupe Fiasco, Streets on Fire. Tonight. Let's get it. Cartoons and Cuts.
Stars are aligning, the plan is colliding, the plan is arriving, the sheets of their smiling, the fear is upon